Hey guys, so we're in writing now, and when we were all together in school, for like the month before we all went home, we had been working on narratives. Do you remember? And we worked for a few weeks writing just stories that were about us, right? Things that we already knew, and we didn't have to make up characters. We didn't need to make up the story because it was something we already knew, right? And I told you that was the easiest way to start story writing. And then that last week that we were together, we started writing made up stories. We only got a chance to make one, and remember, we took it very slow. We spent one day making up a character. We spent another day coming up with the setting. Remember, setting is where the story happens, so where it takes place, whether it's in a house or a school or in the woods, wherever it is, that's the setting. And then we came up with a problem and how the problem would be solved, right? We spent an entire day thinking about that, and then we started writing our story. Well, I am going to have you this week do something similar, because I want you guys to practice writing those stories again. I don't want you to lose what we learned back when we were together in school. In your reader's notebook, there's actually a page that will help you with this. On page 136, I'll write it up here. There is a planning page, okay? It looks like this. This is just your plan. This is not where you're going to write your story, okay? So in the first box, it says characters. So when we did this in the classroom, I had you come up with a character and I had you draw a picture of them, right? Somebody that you made up. And I said, remember, it doesn't have to be a human. It can be an animal, or even it could be like a truck. Like if you think about Blaze and the Monster Machines, he is a truck, right? He's a car, and he is the character. And so your character does not have to be a human. I do not want you to have more than 3 characters, because the more characters you add, the harder your story is to write. And I want you guys to be able to do this well, okay? So you are going to come up with your character or characters. You can have 1, you can have 2, or you can have 3, but no more than 3. And then you can come up with a setting. So where is your story going to take place? So maybe your story happens in the car, or maybe your story happens at the dentist, or at the mall, or at your grandma's house, okay? So you can come up with 1 or 2 settings. Remember, we talked about that before, where maybe somebody loses something, and so they look for it at home, and then when they go to school, they look for it there. So in that case, the setting is home and school, right? So you can come up with 1 or 2 settings, but no more than that, because again, the more you add to it, the harder your story will be to write. And then in the bottom here, I actually want you to do something a little bit different than what they have. They write beginning, middle, and end. What I want you to focus on is, what is the problem that your character is going to have. So remember, we talked about there are so many different problems that a character can have, right? They can lose something. They can argue with a friend. They could be lost, okay? So there are so many different problems. And at the end of the story, the problem needs to get solved. So in this space, I want you to write what the problem is that your character has, and then how that problem is going to be solved at the end. Got it? So you don't need to fill out the beginning, middle, and end just yet. So for today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, you are going to plan your story. You're not writing it yet. I'm going to repeat that. You are not writing your story yet, okay? That's for later. For right now, you are just going to come up with your characters, the setting, and the problem that your character is going to have and how your character will solve that problem. Okay, so that's for today and tomorrow with writing, and then we'll move on later in the week. Sound good? I'm excited for you guys. Have fun with this. I love writing stories. I love, love, love writing stories. I used to write all the time before I had kids. So enjoy it. Have fun. This is your chance to be creative. All right, guys, I'll see you.